Hey everybody, Tim Joy here, your real estate agent for Bellevue, Eastside, and the greater Seattle area. It's August 2026, so let's catch up on what happened in the housing market during July and what trends I'm seeing as we head into the rest of the summer. Let's start with a quick recap of what happened across the 27 counties covered by the Northwest Multiple Listing Service. For median closed sales price, it came in at $640,000, down 1.5% from July of last year. As for median sales price for new construction, we're looking at $699,990, so down 6.7% from a year ago. For new listings, brokers added about 11,500 new listings during July, and that's an increase of 10.6% compared to last year. For total active inventory, we're looking at about 24,800, some 25,000 homes, so which is 19.8% higher than a year ago. For pending sales, a total of 7,205 homes went under contract during July, including 6,350 residential homes and 855 condominiums. That's 7.2% fewer pending sales than same time last year. For month of inventory, it increased to 3.74 months, up 23.7% from a year ago. For reference, a balanced housing market is generally considered to have between 4 to 6 months of inventory. So we're continuing to move towards a more balanced market, although we're not quite there yet. So that's what happened across the broader market. What do these numbers actually mean, and where do I think the market is headed? Before we go into that, a quick disclaimer, these are simply my observation based on the latest market data and should not be considered financial advice. One thing that really stood out to me this month is that the housing market is becoming increasingly local. Looking only at the regional numbers, it would be easy to conclude that the inventory is growing everywhere at roughly the same pace. But when I looked more closely at the latest MLS data for King County, a different picture started to emerge. Across the 27 counties covered by the NWMLS, active inventory increased nearly 20% compared to a year ago, while median sales price declined just 1.5%. That tells me buyers have more choices than they have had in quite some time, but demand has remained healthy enough to keep prices relatively stable overall. The market continues to move towards a healthier balance between buyers and sellers. Looking specifically at King County's residential market, Seattle and the Eastside are no longer moving in lockstep. Based on the latest MLS data, Seattle's active inventory increased at a much more modest pace, while the Eastside saw inventory grows by nearly 40% compared to a year ago. Even with that substantial increase in available homes, the average closed sales price on the Eastside remained relatively stable, suggesting that demand is still supporting prices despite the additional competition. To me, that's one of the biggest takeaways this month. The overall market may appear fairly balanced, but local condition can vary significantly depends on where you're buying or selling. Looking ahead, I expect inventory to remain above last year's level through the remainder of the summer and into early fall. As long as mortgage rates stay near current levels, buyers will likely continue to take their time and compare more options than before making an offer. I don't expect widespread price declines, but I do think we'll continue to see markets perform differently from one area to another. That makes local knowledge even more important than simply following the regional headlines. What this means for buyers. If you're planning to buy, this continues to be one of the best markets we have seen in several years for having choices. More inventory means less pressure to rush into a decision and more opportunities to negotiate depending on the property. Just remember that not every neighborhood is behaving the same way, so understanding the local market remains just as important as understanding the broader market. So what this means for sellers? Well, if you're thinking about selling, buyers have become more selective simply because they have more homes to choose from. Pricing your home correctly from the beginning, preparing it well, and marketing it effectively are becoming more important than ever. Homes that present well and are priced appropriately continue to sell, while buyers are much quicker to move on from listings they feel are overpriced. And if you're thinking about making a move, Whether buying or selling, let's connect. I love to put my experience in the Seattle area market to work for you and help you navigate today's opportunities. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this update, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and share. Good luck out there, and I'll see you next time.